Hello there, how are we? It's actually very early today. Do you know what? I'm having a very productive morning. I set my alarm for 7:30. I was like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get shit done. I've been wanting to film a review on Tati. It does not sound right in my voice. Am I okay, Miss Mancunian? No. Yeah, I've been wanting to film a review on the palette for a while. I actually purchased that a long time ago, but because I actually purchased it quite far after it came out, I kind of felt like I'd missed the bandwagon a little bit with it. I really wanted to do another video like this since I did my Shane and Jeffree collaboration video, because I know you guys really enjoyed that, where I did a multiple eye look type of video. So we have here the Tati Beauty texture, is it called Textured Neutrals? Have I just made that up? This is volume 1, so I'm assuming there's going to be more of these to come. I've literally not used this since I bought it. I bought it in December, and as I said, I didn't film with it at the time because I kind of felt like I'd missed the hype a little bit with it. I know there was a lot of videos out by then. The mirror, honestly, this mirror is by far the best mirror I've ever seen in a palette. Honestly, I don't know what she's put in here, but it makes you look good, okay? We're going to be filming 3 looks with this, and I'm going to do one each eye first of all. Obviously, I've not done my base makeup yet because I know there are some formulas in terms of the shadows in here that are quite chunky, so at risk of fallout, I've not done my skin first. Once I've done one each side, I'm going to do a full look with both eyes as the same, and then we're also going to test out the Blendiful sponge, which is the reason I'm filming this now, because I really want to test this out as well. I feel like 3 is enough to get a decent feel for the palette, so I think I'm gonna do more of a smoky look first, because the last look is going to be the look that I wear all day, so I want it to be a bit more neutral and a bit more me. The glitter ones I'm so intrigued by, because that actually gives me anxiety. That freaks me out, okay? I hate chunky glittery eyeshadows, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about those, but we'll soon find out, won't we? I should probably just stop talking and get into it. So, okay, so I think I'm going to pair Story, which is the orange column, with Poet, which is the pinks, and kind of use a mix of these on one eye because I feel like they'll complement each other really well. And then I'm going to use Soothe and Memory, because I think these matte shades will hopefully do a good job of building up a base for the darker shades. I guess we're doing this eye first, so I'm just gonna start in the crease. Ooh, okay. Miss Piggy Pigment. So far this is blending very smoothly, very smoothly. I'm gonna do a really small wing shape, because that's actually the only shape I ever do with my eyes, because I feel like it complements my eye shape the most. So this brush, by the way, is a Morphe M514. It's literally the brush that I always use for the crease. Since buying this brush, I've literally bought 3 more and pretty much used nothing else. I'm obsessed with it. I am going to use a little bit of Soothe as well, which is this matte shade, on a bigger brush. This is a Zoeva brush, just to kind of diffuse that up towards the brow. But already that looks so pretty. I'm also going to use a little bit of the matte shade in Poet, and I'm just going to use that a little bit towards the lash line. So I'm kind of just pressing it at first, because I feel like that always gives the best amount of pigmentation, and then after that I will kind of buff upwards. Okay, and then again I'm going to use a little bit of Soothe. Is it Soothe? No, Story. Oh my gosh, this is confusing. I'm using a little bit of the red shade again, just to make sure we don't lose that. I might use a little bit of the sequin shadows on top of the mattes. So I might use a little bit of the Poet shade. It kind of looks like a purple with a blue reflex. Oh, that's actually really nice. Okay. So it literally is still pretty much the matte, but with a little bit of shine to it. Can you even really see that? I feel like it's kind of disappeared now. It's very subtle, which I guess is what is to be expected. But it kind of, once you blend it out a little bit, it does kind of just disappear. Okay, we've then got the metallic formula, which I have to admit feels very soft. So it's not the sort of formula where It's quite a dry formula, so it's not the sort of thing that you could put on straight on top of the eyeshadow, I feel like, unless you wanted it to be really subtle. I feel like this definitely needs a cut crease. I'm gonna take a slim synthetic brush, and I think I'm gonna use the pink shade first. So that is the shade Poet. I'm just gonna go in straight on the brush. I don't know if these are like better with your finger or... Okay, yeah, I feel like they're definitely better with your finger actually. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of Story right on the inner corner. Just there. Alright, I want to do glitter as well. I don't really know where to put the glitter shade. So the two in the like columns that we're using are this like pinky shade and this more bronze colour. I might just put some of like the pinky shade on the very centre of the lid and see what that looks like. That actually adheres really well by itself. That's pretty impressive actually. I'm actually going to use some of the silvery glitter from Aura as well, which is like the bone shades, that column. And I'm just going to try that on a brush to actually go through the cut crease. I kind of want to do like a little glitter line going through the crease. Pretty much just looks like a glitter liner, which is actually very hard to do. There was definitely some fallout, but all in all, it actually has stuck to the eye very well. So I'm quite impressed with that. It's not my type of eye. I'm very much a kind of like a matte or at the most like a shimmer type of eye. I don't really wear glitter anymore. Like glitter's not really my thing, but I think for a pan glitter formula it's really impressive. Okay, next up I want to do a kind of like a dark smoky eye, so I'm going to use like more of the cool tones over here. Okay, so again I'm taking a clean Morphe M514, so I'm going to start with the matte shade from Soothe. I actually really like this colour as a transition colour. So I'm starting at the outer corner to get the most payoff there and then just following it through. I think I'm just going to go straight in with the black and just do it. So I'm taking a Sigma Precision Firm Blender. This is an E42 and I'm going to dip into the matte Memory shade. So I'm going to start in the crease. Just me, or does that look more blue than black? Is it supposed to be black? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be black. I'm gonna really softly smoke it out a little bit. I actually feel like that looks more like a blue eyeshadow. Maybe I'm just like not with it, but that to me does not look dark enough to be black. I mean, I've not fully blended it and stuff yet, of course, but I feel like that doesn't look black, like it looks blue. In person, it looks navy blue. I think I'm gonna use just a tiny bit of this more red shade, just so we're not going to look like we've got a full black eye. Smudge it into that dark shade. I'm also going to mix in a little bit of Ritual, which is the shade in between like the dark brown shade. I don't want to use too much of Ritual though, because it's still quite a cool tone brown, so I kind of want more of like that warmer tone to help blend it out. And then I'm just going to go back in a little bit with the darkest shade, which is Memory, just to make sure that is nice and dark. What are we going to go in with? Should I keep it dark on the inner corner? I think we should try these two shades because I'm not going to use this in the last look. So I think I'm going to use this metallic shade on the lid and then maybe a little bit of the glitter again on top. Definitely not my type of eye. I would never really do anything this smoky. I mean, I think it's fun once in a while, but that's kind of why I wanted to use it now, because I wouldn't use this for like an everyday look. Okay, and then I might use the glitter again to do like kind of like a through the crease situation. So I'm just going to take this same brush. It's just a Sotu brush. It's an SK06 and I'm just going to use that to go through the crease. You know what? That has actually like done it for me for that eye. Like that I feel like is what it needed. Okay, I have to be honest, I'm so glad I am not doing 6 looks again, because that alone, removing the eye makeup and putting concealer back on, my eyes are burning. Okay, this is like the fun time for me because I'm gonna create what would be like my ideal look with this palette. So Morphe M514 again, I'm gonna dip into the matte Soothe colour. I feel like this is definitely like my go-to shadow in this palette, or it will be my go-to shadow, because it really just is such a pretty transition colour. It builds up nicely, so it's fine, but I do find myself having to really dip into the shade to get what I want from it, which is a little bit annoying, but I mean, I don't mind as long as it blends well. Okay, and then I am going to go into Ritual, into the matte shade. Oh, that actually is quite dark for a brown. Okay, we're going to take this slow. So just going to start on the outer corner. Might mix in a tiny bit of Story just to keep it nice and soft. I feel like these are really making me work all of a sudden. Like, I don't know if it's this dark brown, but I feel like I'm suddenly really having to like put the work in to blend these. I don't know, I feel like I'm really having to work all of a sudden. Maybe it's this dark brown that's like throwing me off a bit. I don't really know. I'm gonna use my bigger Zoeva brush. Hopefully that will just kind of disperse everything out a little bit. Where does that light come from? Oh my god. Just got very bright outside. I don't know how I'm feeling. I mean, it's coming together slowly. I just feel like I'm really having to just work to like buff it out. I'm also just using this big Real Techniques brush, which is actually the brush that I used to set the lid. It's just a setting brush. So it's kind of just got like excess loose powder on, and I'm just using that to really buff it out. I'm actually just going to use a little bit of Soothe in the metallic version, which is this one. And I'm just going to use that on my lid a little bit. And then I'm actually going to use a little bit of Aura, which is this color, but I'm going to use the sequin shade. Just kind of like on top a little bit, and then I will blend it out with a brush. Just kind of patting it in. Right, I want to do a shadow liner, of course, so I'm going to use Memory, mostly the matte shade, and also smoke it out a little bit with Ritual. So I'm just going to use a angled liner brush and create the wing, and you just want to create a normal wing as you would with gel liner. And then I am also going to use the Anastasia waterproof cream colour. This is in the shade Jet. It's just a black gel liner. I'm going to use this in the waterline towards the outer corner, and also just to deepen up the wing a tiny bit. I've finally got some more pairs of Rodeo Dry from Backstage Beauty, which are hands down my favourite cruelty-free, foaming, like completely cruelty-free lashes I own or have ever used. I've just done a little bit of moisturiser, and we're now going to do skin, of course. So, Miss Blendiful. You can machine wash these, which is amazing. Obviously really good for the environment. This is what it looks like in the packaging. So I'm just going to open it up. You get a big puff, a big Blendiful, and a little mini one as well, which is really cute. So supposedly you can do pretty much everything with these in terms of foundations, powders, powder bronzers, powder blush, like cream products, like all of that good stuff. You can pretty much do everything. So I'm gonna try and do a full face with this. Obviously I'm still gonna do like my primer with my hands, and I'm still gonna do lower lash line with like a brush and stuff for eyeshadow, but other than that I'm gonna try and do foundation, concealer, loose powder, setting powder, bronzer, everything with these. So I'm gonna use some of my Ciate Watermelon Burst primer, which I just can't get enough of this. Like, I'm definitely going to repurchase it when I run out. I'm going to use a foundation that I know I already love, so that I know this should work, if you know what I'm saying. So this is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation in the shade 300C. I'm going to do just like one pump first. I'm going to use this side for foundation, and then I think I'm going to use a smaller one for concealer, and this for like cream bronzer and things like that as well. So oh, this is like very strange. Be interested to see how much this absorbs product as well, because I mean it's not like a wet sponge where it'll absorb. It should absorb like a lot of product. It should probably dispense like most of it onto the skin. So far so good. Yeah, I definitely, it doesn't feel natural to do like swirling motions. I feel like patting is the way to go, you know? I guess the one difficult thing, because I do brows first, I'm probably not going to be able to really like fully go around my brows. I'm going to have to use a brush for that. This is what it looks like so far. It actually looks fine. Oh my god, also someone sent me a post yesterday on Instagram, or tagged me in a post, saying that Charlotte Tilbury is no longer cruelty free. which I've literally just spent all that money. I did that whole video on Charlotte Tilbury and now they're no longer confirmed cruelty free because I think from what I understand, they basically admitted that some products were sold in mainland China, which means that they can't guarantee they're not tested on animals. Even to like go around the nose is actually a lot easier because you can really just like get in there, you know? Obviously these are quite flexible as well, which is nice. So I think I'm going to try cream bronzer a little bit. I would have used my Charlotte Tilbury one because I actually really like that, but great, I can't do that. So just gonna make do with this, which I actually do really like, but I'm pretty sure it's expired and it's dry as hell, so I need to get a new one of these. I'm actually still going to use the foundation side at first because I feel like the fact that it's got a bit of foundation on will help to blend it in. I have to say, this is a bit of like an arm workout because you constantly just like, it's actually very easy to like clean up as well. You can use like the flat edge and kind of just go under your contour, which is really nice. Okay, concealer. Just gonna use a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape. So far, I'm literally blown away by all of this. Like, it looks so good. In fact, I probably should have applied a little bit less than what I would usually do. I feel like it's not really gonna absorb the same way a sponge will, but it should be okay. Okay, just gonna take this small one and just start pressing that in and hope for the best. Oh, it feels so like soft. It feels so soft under the eyes. All right, loose powder. I'm gonna use the same puff that's got concealer on. Okay, so this powder, I don't know which video is going up first because I'm gonna do a video on this powder anyway because I've literally found my ultimate like cruelty-free loose powder to replace my YSL powder, which is this one that I'm using right now. But I don't know if I'm uploading this video first or the powder video first. Look how smooth that is. Obviously it's down to this as well. I feel like I can't take this makeup off. I was gonna film another tutorial today, but I'm like, I cannot take this makeup off. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna use a little bit of Too Faced pressed powder, and I'm just gonna stick to this puff now because it's already got loose powder on it. Just gonna very gently tap over the rest of the skin. Right, I'm going to quickly finish off the under eye before we go any further because I feel like that needs to be done. I'm going to use this shade. Oh no, not that shade, that's like the sequiny shade, sorry. I'm going to use the matte shade from Soothe. This is just a Backstage Beauty brush, which again, you can get discount on with my code. So I'm just going to dust this underneath the eye. Just use a little bit of Ritual as well. And I feel like that is the eyes done. Oh no, in fact, I'm going to use an inner corner shade. So I'm going to use the metallic of Aura. No, that's really pretty for the inner corner actually. Because obviously I can't use nylon anymore, which I actually bought a brand new nylon at the end of last year. So it was like brand new and I was like, oh, well, no more nylon for me. Alright, I'm just going to quickly finish off the skin. So we're going to try and use the bigger puff for powder, bronzer and highlighter. I don't see it working, but I wouldn't be surprised at the same time because so far I'm loving this. I'm going to use some Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. So I think I'm just going to flip this round and I think I'm going to use like one of the corners. Probably do like one corner for blush, one corner for highlight, that type of vibe. I mean, you won't be able to contour your nose with this, I don't think. I mean, maybe you could. No, you couldn't. That's me being way too optimistic. I mean, to be honest, doing this would be quicker with a brush, if I'm honest. Like, I can just slap on bronzer and be good to go. But for the sake of like, if you're traveling and you really want to take minimal things and just like a really small amount of makeup and brushes, like you could make this work. But if you're doing like everyday makeup at home, I'd probably stick to using a brush for this. I really can't see it doing highlighter the way a brush will. I've got my Anastasia Amrezy. I'm just literally like rubbing in. Oh, what the hell? It's not gonna make it as beaming, but if anything, it's kind of nice that it just makes it a bit softer. And then you can kind of just like rotate the whole thing to like blend everything in. So a bit of excess foundation, bit of bronzer to make sure it's blended. I do really want to do a bit of blush, so I'm going to use the bronzer side for this. This is the Laura Mercier Peach Blush. I'm gonna like take it up towards the nose a little bit. I really kind of like the whole flustered look at the minute. Okay, those are the cheeks done. At home I would use brushes to do that because honestly it's a lot quicker. But for the sake of, also I've got quite a harsh line there. For the sake of just like using one tool to do everything, like it does it absolutely fine. Okay, so this is the finished look. Very impressed with the Blendiful puffs. Would you call this a puff? I feel like it is a puff. I don't really know what to call it. It's not a sponge, but yeah, I'm very, very impressed with these. The palette I actually really do like as well. The eyes have turned out really, really nice. Like I'm very happy with them now that they're done. I feel like I just had to work a little bit harder with the mattes. It's not a palette I'll reach for tons, I don't think, because I think the special thing about it is the glitters and the like sequin shadows, which personally I'm more of a matte girl, so I tend to just stick to my matte shades. But if you're someone that really likes glitter and your neutrals, then I would definitely recommend. Would definitely recommend these as well. Like I'm definitely going to be using these pretty much forever now, I think. Like I'm very, very impressed with them. All in all, I'm very impressed. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts as well. I will see you in Thursday's video for the powder and the brand that I've been trying out. So yeah, I will see you then.